Victory favors me. Time to part ways. A new era awaits.
So Carlotta has been out for a couple of days, and I want to go ahead and make this YouTube video for anyone that has gotten her or are hesitant to get her and just want some more information on her. So I'm just going to talk about her identity, some of her echoes, and things of that nature. So her kit is pretty easy to understand. Unfortunately, it's a lot of yapping, so it doesn't seem that way at first. But basically, her basic attack string is nothing special. If she's holding any crystals, it will change into her shooting her shotgun rifle. I'm not entirely sure what you would call it, but it's indicated by a small mark near the character, or if you look at above her HP bar, it'll tell you if she has crystals or not. This is unimportant also, as she basically never autos in her ideal rotation. Carlotta has two skills, the first of which, once you press it, you will freeze the enemy for 1.5 seconds, dealing a little bit of damage, and it provides you with crystals, and allows you to use the empowered skill, which once you press that, Carlotta will backflip over the enemy, dealing a decent amount of damage and consuming all crystals that she had. This will charge your forte. As for Carlotta's forte, it's pretty straightforward. You stack it up by consuming crystals, and once you have it maxed, you hold your heavy attack button to freeze the enemy in a pretty respectable AoE, and it deals a semi-nuke, about 700 scaling, which is pretty good. And it decreases your skill cooldown by 6 seconds while also providing Carlotta a buff that increases her ult damage by 80%. This is very important, so you really want to use your forte before you ult. This basically stops people from doing really quick swap comps, as the buff does end up leaving if you swap out Carlotta. She can only do the heavy attack forte every 22 seconds, so she does have a lot of downtime. This is also considered skill damage. For her ultimate, she does an initial nuke in a very, very small AoE, and it allows you to press or hold the basic attack button or ult button to do 4 additional shots, dealing pretty decent damage and granting her a stack of Vector. Once she has at least, or not least, but the max of 4 stacks, she can deal her final execution, which is called Fatal Finale, dealing an even bigger nuke in a respectable AoE. While in this mode you cannot use your basics or heavy attacks, and you're only allowed to use the ultimate or skill. All of the damage in this ultimate is considered skill damage, and if you've noticed, this mark Carlotta applies to the enemy during her ultimate is called Deconstruction. It allows her to ignore 18% of the target's defense and is applied during her ultimate shots. Her outro is just a nuke, while her intro is just a bit of damage, but it also gives her some crystals. As for Carlotta's inherent skills, the first one makes it so she cannot be knocked out of the mid-air dive attack. I guess it would be a bit awkward if enemies were knocking you out of that consistently. And also, if she's in your party, you drain less stamina when flying in the new region. Her second inherent skill also makes it so Carlotta applies Deconstruction, which is the defense ignore, on her intro and heavy attack, as well as the skill, so it's not just on the ult anymore. This is an extremely important inherent skill for her damage. For weapons, if you have her signature, use that. Otherwise, the standard 5-star pistol is extremely good on her, regardless of it basically not having a passive. If you don't have either of them, or if you're new to the game, just use the 4-star pistols until you get the standard 5-star, as obviously there's the standard banner weapon, which you could pick your weapon and it's guaranteed. So if you want to invest into her, make sure you go ahead and get that. And for her echo sets, you really want the new echo set for her, as it gives massive buffs almost exclusively to her. In terms of stats it gives you glacial damage bonus and skill damage bonus, and I'm talking 36% glacial damage bonus and 48 skill damage bonus. Alright, that's a lot of damage for free basically. And she has a special interaction with the Echo that once she uses her ult, it will basically give it a charge and it resets the cooldown of the echo, and it also empowers it, allowing you to freeze enemies in an AoE, which is pretty nice, pretty cool. It's a decent nuke as well. For teammates, this is where it starts to get a bit difficult, and this is honestly where you want to decide if you want to roll for her or not, or if you already have her, you're gonna have to decide who you're gonna put into her main teams. If you really want the biggest nuke numbers for her, her ideal teammate is going to be Zhezhi, or Zhezhi, whatever her name is, right? The damage between having a Zhezhi on your team versus not is very massive. If you want to maximize her damage and have her be your main like damage dealer for most of your towers, you really want this character. Otherwise, you could still pass tower with putting her with other characters such as Zhezhi or Changli or Sanhua. She does enough damage to where it will be clearable. I even have some background footage that may show me using like Sanhua or something. It's still going to be clearable, it's just not going to be the most damage, and I wouldn't suggest half investing into these teams, as that's where you could find like power creep arguments, or your character just being too weak to clear content in the future. Do a demonstration of the rotation. You want to start on Carlotta, use her skill, use her second skill, swap out during her second skill animation, get your healer's outro
In war with time.
into your sub DPS,
Witness the art's fruitful.
and then back into Carlotta. You want to have your skill back up, use both skills, use Forte, and then Echo out.
Victory favors me.
And then that's literally the rotation. And once you do all the ult things,
Masterpiece complete.
you then want to use your skill again, and then while you're in the mid-air, use your Echo and then swap out.
Ordained.
And that's the rotation. Now for a more advanced rotation, you can go ahead and do the same thing, but start from Zhezhi, swap into Shorekeeper after using Zhezhi's third auto attack, then swap back into Zhezhi once you do the Forte, use her ult, swapping into Carlotta, using her Echo, swapping back to Shorekeeper, using another Forte, skill, Echo into ult, swapping into Zhezhi, using her skill. And here you can see me using the jump cancel on Zhezhi's E, making it faster, and then doing the normal Carlotta rotation. This essentially just makes it a bit smoother and a faster rotation into your Carlotta.
In the name of the Montellis.
As for the Zhezhi skill jump cancel, all it is skilling, then jumping at the moment of arrival, as it just speeds up your rotation a bit more and makes her significantly smoother to play. To conclude the video, Carlotta is obviously going to be an extremely strong single target hyper carry, and if you invest into her correctly, she's going to carry your tower for a very long time, and she has very clear investment goals and characters that she really enjoys, making vertical investment very easy. If you're looking for constellations, or I guess sequences in this game, I would stop at sequence 2 if I were to roll for them, but I wouldn't suggest it as her sequence 1 is very bad. But otherwise, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm out.